Hey guys, how you doing? This is me from Tech Century, and since Apple released the Retina MacBook Pro, it kinda seems like the whole world forgot about the regular MacBook Pros, especially the 15-inch version. So while the Retina MacBook Pro definitely features an awesome screen, is thinner than the previous generation, and also has SSD storage, I'll tell you a couple of reasons why you might want to get the regular 15-inch MacBook Pro. So first up, of course, the price. The Retina MacBook Pro starts at around $2,200 US or euros, depending on which country you live in. And I just bought a 15-inch MacBook Pro 2011, brand new on clearance for $1,400, and the performance isn't that much different. So you see, you can save yourself pretty much $800 there, and you don't really have to make too much sacrifice when it comes to performance. Next up, now we get to the hardware, and first off, on the regular 15-inch MacBook Pro, you have a battery charge indicator, which is pretty much one of my favorite features about the MacBook Pro lineup, because it just shows you on the go how much battery charge you got left. If you're really in a hurry to leave your house, you can just press the small button and you directly see how much charge you have on the battery, and this isn't existent in the Retina MacBook Pro anymore. Then certainly another big difference is that you have a DVD drive. I honestly have to say I don't really use the DVD drive that much, but for example when I was installing the Canon EOS utility, it was really helpful that I had the DVD drive so that I didn't have to download the software. And so if you're maybe somebody who uses a lot of DVDs, still watch them on their notebooks, this might be the way for you to go, because an external DVD drive is always pretty much a pain in the butt. Next up, the Ethernet port. So I know a lot of people are only using Wi-Fi these days, but if you're really in a place where there is no Wi-Fi, or if you really need a stable connection where Wi-Fi just isn't enough, you will have to buy a separate Ethernet dongle to, I think, Thunderbolt on the Retina MacBook Pro, and you have the Ethernet port directly built into the regular MacBook Pro. So next, the IR receiver. The Retina MacBook Pro doesn't have an IR receiver at all. The regular MacBook Pro does have one, and what it is used for? Yes, for this, the Apple remote. And I honestly like this. I don't use it too much, but it's definitely nice to have this as an option also for presentation and other things. So I honestly like that there's an IR port on there. Also, if you want to use something like maybe a TV tuner, then you can control it via this remote, and this is always welcome so that you don't have to get to the keyboard itself to make your selections. Another pro for the regular MacBook Pro is the sleep light, at least in my opinion. So the sleep light reader shows you whether your machine is completely turned off or if it's just in the sleep mode, so in the standby mode. And I honestly like to see from the outside what state my MacBook is currently in. So it might not be a deal breaker that the Retina MacBook Pro doesn't have it, but I honestly like the sleep light. Another point is pretty much not really a feature, but it's just that you have a dedicated on and off button, which in my opinion just looks a lot better than if it's just integrated in the keyboard itself. Last and probably the most important point is how you can upgrade your machine. If you're getting the Retina MacBook Pro, you're pretty much stuck with what you're getting. So you can't upgrade the RAM, you can't do anything to the hard drive, and there isn't really enough space to just do some other tweaks. So for example, on the regular 15-inch MacBook Pro, you can upgrade the RAM to 16 GB, even though Apple doesn't really officially support it, but it works. You can also put an SSD instead of the HDD in there, and you can even remove the optical drive and replace this with an SSD or an hard disk drive. So you can have two hard drives in the MacBook Pro, or an SSD plus a hard drive, and that's pretty much what I'm looking into doing, so that I'll have an SSD, a 128 GB SSD, 830 from Samsung in there, and then also just the regular 500 GB hard drive, and that will be an awesome combination because the SSD will speed up your overall daily performance, but the hard drive still is there so that you can store large files like movie files on there. And so this pretty much wraps it up. I think there are a lot of points that really go for the regular MacBook Pro, and honestly, there isn't like a huge difference when it comes to weight. I mean, if you can carry around the 15-inch Retina MacBook Pro, I'm sure you'll be able to lift the extra weight on the regular MacBook Pro. Besides that, you can just save a lot of money. Yes, the screen isn't that great on the regular MacBook Pro, but honestly, if you want to have like a full HD resolution, just go out, buy an external monitor, like 24-inch monitor with full HD resolution with an IPS panel from LG, and you spend like 150 bucks. So that's pretty much the easiest way to upgrade really the screen or just the overall experience then. And I think an external monitor with a 24-inch size is definitely better than just looking on the 15-inch all the time. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think about this, whether you want to rather pick up the Retina MacBook Pro or just the regular MacBook Pro. And if you think my points are valid, or if you do have other points that I didn't mention in this video, please also make sure to hit the subscribe button if you like this video, and I honestly hope to see you in my next video. Thank you for watching.